Have you ever wondered what is the single most impactful thing you can do in your style to look so much better? Well, let me tell you that there is just one concept that can provide that. It can make you twice as attractive as you currently are. Well, that fundamental is fit. If you did know this, you also know that it's really hard to get good fit unless you're this guy. Like, he does that like every single time. How does he do it? Today I'm gonna simplify fit in order for you to master it with 3 simple tips. All of that coming up. If you're new to this channel, my name is Gus and I give simple and honest advice to help you unlock the very best version of you. The first tip to master good fit is to get your facts straight and not confuse fit with cut. Clients that have had image consulting with me, when I recommend straight cut or tapered cut, then they tell me something like, but I really like slim fit. When we're talking about a cut, we're talking about the shape that the piece of clothing is gonna have. For instance, a shirt, it can have a boxy cut or it can have a V cut, wide at the shoulders and narrow down into the waist to get that V shape. When we talk about fit, we are usually referring to the amount of fabric around your body. So you can have a tapered cut with a very baggy fit. See that? Now fits, you can find a lot of them. There's a relaxed fit, baggy, slim fit, ultra skinny fit, sprayed on fit. It is really important that you find which one of these fits is the best for you. And in order to do that, I'm gonna give you the next tip, which is gonna tell you which one of these, after you try them on, you're gonna be able to figure out which one of these is the best one for you. Oh yeah, and speaking of good fit, if you want the best fitting jacket in the world and you happen to like leather jackets, you need to check this one out. This one is from our sponsors, Western Pearl. That is a new brand, which in full disclosure, I have to say, I co-founded this brand, so you can be completely confident that I put a lot of effort into making the best fitting leather jackets. But it's not just that. I also wanted the cleanest design, so I removed everything that was not necessary in the design. Even the small pieces that are used to build the jacket in a more cheap way, well, we got rid of them and we're using hole cuts. The sleeve is a hole cut, the front of it is hole cut, the back is a single piece so that you can get the cleanest design, the most versatility. It is made with the highest quality lamb leather. And why? Well, because we wanted it to be luscious, we wanted it to be sexy, to feel smooth to the touch, to be comfortable, not to be too hot, but at the same time to be warm. We added a very lightweight lining to it. We used the best zipper in the world, so it will never get stuck. It is just great. But you want to know what the coolest part of it all is? You can choose how long your sleeve is going to be. So if you're a really tall guy, or you have really long arms, or really short arms, you can customize that so that it will fit you perfectly. What else do you want? Free shipping worldwide. 100% money back. If you don't like it, you give it back, we give your money back. And if it doesn't fit, if you made a mistake, the size wasn't right, just give it back and we're gonna send you a new one with a modified size that you ask for. But here's the deal. This brand has not launched yet, but because you are here, because you and I are friends now, let me tell you something. There is a link down below for a pre-order stage where you can get it at a just killer deal, 50% off. Now, we must be crazy to give it that cheap. So keep it to yourself. There's a link, go click it, get yours. The first collection is dropping up October 4th, and I recommend you get at this discounted price because it's gonna go up, twice as much, just as much attractive you're gonna be when you're wearing this. So just go now, click on that thing. Wait, hold on. Finish the video, then click on that thing, get yours. The second tip is to wear or look for pieces of clothing that fit snugly to your body, but keeping between 1 and 2 inches of extra fabric to one side. If you pull it, there has to be 1 to 2 inches. Less than 1 inch is gonna be too tight. You don't want to look like a sausage. You don't want to be uncomfortable when moving, when sitting down. That day that you ate too much and the belly, just pop. You don't want to be uncomfortable and you don't want to look uncomfortable because it shows. 1 inch is the minimum acceptable in my opinion. 2 inches is the maximum. Well, sometimes a little more than 2 inches is acceptable, but you really have to know what you're doing when you're going oversized like that. So to make things simple, always stay between 1 and 2 inches. And what I recommend you do when you're going to buy clothes is to memorize how long your finger is in the different sections. So for me, this is about 1 inch, this is about 2 inches. So I can make that test very, very easily just by pulling a little bit of fabric and see just where it lands in the 1 to 2 inch rule. There is one exception to this rule, and it's right here, because the shoulder needs to be exactly at the line. More on that on the third tip. Before I move on to the next step, I know that some of you guys who are heavier, who have a round belly, heavy set in general, are now thinking that this tip just wasn't for you. Everybody knows that a guy who's overweight needs to wear oversized clothing to disguise that overweight, right? Wrong. This rule of thumb is going to work for you as well, because I'm giving you a rule that is relative to your body. It's your body size plus 1 to 2 inches that's going to give you comfort. It's going to make things look smooth, not too tight, not too baggy. If you go oversized, it's going to look too big on you. And when we're talking about someone who's really thin, the problem is that they look thinner. And guys who are bigger, they look even bigger. It's not a good look. 1 to 2 inches is good enough. Oh, a few things to consider before moving on to the next tip. Pants look better when they are tighter, but do not abuse. Don't have them look like they are sprayed on. Just reach for that 1 inch and you're gonna be fine. Your body's gonna look amazing, your legs are gonna look amazing, and you're gonna look sexy as yeah, like that. And for t-shirts and shirts and jackets, just keep it closer to that 2 inch so that you can be more comfortable. You can fit different layers of clothing, all that good stuff. The third rule is to have the parts of your clothing start and finish where the body part they're covering ends and starts. For instance, in sleeves, if it is a short sleeve, you want that sleeve to finish where your shoulder finishes. Now, most people might believe that it's somewhere around here, which is a lie. The shoulder finishes where your deltoid finishes, was somewhere around here. It's slightly covering the top part of your triceps, but it's gonna be showing the bulkiest part of the triceps. You're gonna be looking stronger, more muscular, and simply sexier. So keep it short like that. But when you're wearing a long sleeve shirt, what you want is for the sleeve to show beneath the sleeve of your jacket. For that, you need that sleeve to get to your wrist bone, which is this thing right here, and over it where it finishes and your hand starts. But when you bend your elbow, that thing is gonna slide up. So you need it to be slightly longer. However, since it is narrow, it's not gonna go over it. It's gonna sit exactly where you want it. Pants, how should they fit? Trust me, most of us men need our pants to go to waist level. And if you have pants that are to be worn at the waist and you put them down at your hips, you're gonna lose your butt. That is not a good thing. You want your butt to show. So the pants are gonna go from waist to the top of your foot. In my opinion, the best look is when it goes straight down and stops right at the top of your foot. No break, no nothing. There are so many more rules specific to different situations in different body types. So I promise I'm gonna teach you eventually how to disguise a very long arm or a very short arm or very long legs or very big bellies and all that kind of stuff next month. No, I'm not committing to a date. But in the meantime, just check out this video right here where I talk about how to look great using color. So I'm gonna see you in that video. But before that, let me remind you to always stay simple and classic.